Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. Imagine holding a piece of American history right in the palm of your hand, a coin that doesn't just represent money, but a tribute to liberty, patriotism, and one of the most iconic moments in the United States past. The Kennedy half-dollar dated 1776 to 1976 isn't just a coin, it's a celebration, a symbol, and for some collectors, a hidden treasure worth a small fortune. If you've ever glanced at one of these distinctive half-dollars and thought it was just pocket change, think again. Because behind the shine of this bicentennial coin lies a story of honor, artistry, and in rare cases, astonishing value. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar was minted to honor America's 200th birthday, marking 2 centuries of independence. As part of the U.S. Mint's bicentennial coin program, this special edition stood apart from other half-dollars minted before and after it. It featured a unique reverse design that replaced the usual presidential seal with a powerful image of Independence Hall, the birthplace of the Declaration of Independence. The dual date, 1776 to 1976. On the obverse side frames President John F. Kennedy's portrait, paying tribute both to the nation's founding and to a beloved leader whose legacy shaped modern American history. This coin was released during a time of great national pride. It wasn't just minted for collectors, it was circulated widely, given to children as keepsakes, used in ceremonial events, and tucked away by Americans who wanted to hold on to a piece of the bicentennial spirit. Millions were made in copper-nickel-clad versions for general circulation, while special proof and silver-clad editions were struck for collectors. But not all Kennedy half-dollars from this era are created equal, and that's where the real intrigue begins. Some 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollars are far more than just common currency. Through minting errors, production quirks, or near-flawless preservation, a small number of these coins have become exceptional rarities. For example, coins struck with off-center designs, doubled dies, or those minted using the wrong planchets can elevate a standard coin into an extremely rare and valuable collectible. Additionally, coins graded at the very highest levels, such as MS-68 or higher by professional grading services, are nearly impossible to find and can send collectors into a frenzy when they appear at auctions. It's not just about the physical condition either. The mystique surrounding certain mint marks, such as the elusive, no S proof errors, or high-grade examples from the San Francisco Mint, add layers of value and demand. Some of these rare finds went unnoticed for decades, sitting quietly in collections, jars, or family heirlooms until the right experts spotted them. When these coins come to market, they become the center of intense interest from numismatists, investors, and passionate collectors who know exactly what's at stake. What sets this coin apart even more is the emotional value attached to it. The Kennedy half-dollar is more than a collectible, it's a coin that carries the weight of history. It honors President Kennedy's enduring image as a symbol of hope and unity, and at the same time, it pays homage to the roots of the American dream. Its bicentennial edition represents a moment in time when the country paused to reflect on its journey, its ideals, and its promise for the future. Owning one isn't just about monetary value, it's about holding a tangible piece of America's spirit. Now here's where it gets truly astonishing. While most of these coins may be worth a few dollars, there exists a very rare example of the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar that left the numismatic world in awe. Preserved in remarkable mint condition, with pristine surfaces and flawless strike detail, This particular coin featured all the hallmarks of a masterpiece, plus a rare production anomaly that made it one of a kind. And when it appeared at a major coin auction, the bids came fast, furious, and from all corners of the collector world. When the final bid landed, this single Kennedy $50, once worth just 50 cents, had sold for a jaw-dropping $150,000. That's right, $150,000 for a single commemorative $50. So next time you see that 1776 to 1976 Kennedy coin in your drawer or hear the clink of change in your pocket, take a closer look. Because buried in everyday coins are stories, legacies, and sometimes treasures that are worth far more than anyone ever expected. Top 2. In the world of coin collecting, few things stir the imagination more than uncovering a coin with a story that stretches across generations, a piece of metal that speaks not only of value but of history, legacy, and identity. We're diving into one of the most compelling treasures ever to emerge from American numismatics, a coin that connects one of the nation's most beloved presidents with one of its most historic states. We're talking about the United States of America Kennedy $50 Illinois 1918, a coin that may sound puzzling at first, but once you understand the origin, the symbolism, and the extraordinary rarity, you'll see why this coin has become an object of intense fascination for collectors across the globe. Let's start by untangling the mystery. The Kennedy $50, as most people know, was first introduced in 1964. Just months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It quickly became more than just a 50-cent piece. It became a national tribute, a daily reminder of a leader lost too soon. But how, then, does a 1918 Illinois connection enter the picture? Well, here lies the magic of historical crossover in coin collecting. The Illinois 1918 designation refers not to the Kennedy coin's mint date, but to a unique blend of commemorative significance and coin design lineage. In 1918, the United States honored the centennial of Illinois' statehood by minting a special commemorative $50 featuring none other than Abraham Lincoln, a fellow Illinoisan and a president who, like Kennedy, left an indelible mark on the nation's conscience. Decades later, a handful of numismatic creations, whether by error, limited private striking, or special commemorative design, began to emerge featuring intricate blends of these historic elements. Among these is a version of the Kennedy $50 that reflects the deep ties to Illinois history. These rare hybrids or specially marked pieces, often produced in limited mint runs or as part of special programs, can sometimes escape public attention until they appear in auctions or private collections, causing a stir due to their uniqueness and beauty. What makes this particular Kennedy $50 so valuable isn't just its design or historical relevance, it's its scarcity. Only a minute number of these Illinois-themed Kennedy $50 are known to exist. Some experts suggest they were minted in tribute or as test pieces never meant for circulation, while others believe they were created for collectors through sanctioned but extremely limited mint programs. In either case, the coin has achieved near mythical status in the coin community. Its condition, rarity, and backstory all contribute to making it a gem beyond compare. The craftsmanship on this coin is breathtaking. It carries the dignified profile of President Kennedy on the obverse, as seen in traditional $50, but with enhanced detailing that reflects the artistry of commemorative design. Subtle features in the background or on the edge of the coin may reference Illinois' rich history or its iconic association with Lincoln. The reverse side of these coins, depending on the variant, may feature a blend of classic American symbols, shields, eagles, or even references to the state itself, making each coin not just currency but a miniature sculpture of American heritage. Collectors who seek out these rare pieces know they're not just purchasing metal. They're investing in a story, a slice of time, and a legacy that spans presidents and epochs. It's the kind of coin you don't just keep in a drawer or flip into a vending machine. It's the kind of coin you frame, secure in a temperature-controlled case, and pass down to the next generation with pride. And for some, the joy is in the hunt, scouring estate sales, auctions, and numismatic expos, always searching for the one coin that will change everything. And for one lucky collector, that dream came true. A flawless example of the Kennedy half-dollar with the documented Illinois 1918 commemorative connection, authenticated and preserved in pristine condition, recently shattered expectations when it was sold at a prestigious auction. Collectors bid feverishly, driven by the coin's rarity, backstory, and the impeccable quality of its strike. By the time the final bid was cast, this remarkable coin had fetched an astonishing total of $280,000. That's right, $280,000 for a single coin that represents more than value. It represents America. It represents history. And it might just be out there, waiting for someone like you to discover it. Top 3. In the world of rare and collectible coins, few pieces are as iconic and emotionally resonant as the Kennedy half-dollar. A coin that began its journey in the wake of a national tragedy, it quickly evolved from common currency to a symbol of American pride and remembrance. Among the many variations and mint years of this historic coin, one specific year stands out for collectors and historians alike: 1972. While to the untrained eye a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar might seem like just another coin from the past century, those who truly understand its story know that there are versions of this coin that are anything but ordinary. Today, we dive deep into the fascinating tale of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, exploring why this particular coin is captivating the attention of collectors around the globe and how one exceptional example has reached a staggering value that could make anyone look twice at the change in their pocket. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy after his assassination in November 1963. It was more than just a commemorative coin. It was a piece of history, issued with speed and emotion to honor a fallen leader. Over the years, the coin continued to be produced annually, but as time passed, its use in daily transactions declined, and it became more of a collector's item than functional currency. By 1972, the Kennedy half-dollar had settled into this dual identity, used occasionally in circulation, but increasingly admired by collectors for its symbolism, silver content in earlier versions, and potential for rare varieties. What makes the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar so unique lies in the details. Literally. There are multiple varieties of this coin, including subtle but crucial differences in the design, mint mark, and even the dies used to strike the coin. For example, certain 1972 half-dollars were struck using leftover or misaligned dies, resulting in unusual features like doubled dies, weak strikes, or errors that didn't meet mint standards. These anomalies, often invisible to casual observers, are pure gold to numismatists. In fact, some 1972 Kennedy half-dollars exhibit the rare, no FG, variety, where the designer Frank Gasparo's initials, usually located near the eagle's tail on the reverse, are entirely missing due to die polishing. It's the kind of error that turns an ordinary coin into a headline-making treasure. Another contributing factor to the rarity of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is the condition in which it's found. Most coins from this period were circulated heavily and show signs of wear, from scratches to loss of detail. However, when a coin is discovered in mint or near mint condition, especially one with a rare error, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes a survivor, a gem from the past preserved through sheer luck or careful stewardship. Grading plays a major role here. A coin that scores MS 67 or higher, mint state, 67 out of 70, on the professional grading scale instantly jumps in value, especially if it carries a unique feature or flaw that sets it apart from the rest. The artistry of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar also deserves attention. The obverse features the strong, noble profile of President Kennedy, sculpted with reverence and detail, while the reverse proudly displays the presidential coat of arms, an eagle with outspread wings, a shield, olive branch, and arrows in its talons, surrounded by a ring of stars. It's a coin that carries not only the face of a president, but the spirit of a nation still healing from loss, and still proud of the ideals he represented. So, how did a single 1972 Kennedy half-dollar become the talk of the numismatic community? It happened when one specimen, preserved in nearly flawless condition and bearing a rare die error, went to auction. With interest from private collectors, history enthusiasts, and even institutional buyers, the bidding war escalated quickly. It wasn't just about owning a coin, it was about owning a story, a legacy, a moment in American history frozen in silver and copper. And when the final hammer fell, this seemingly modest coin had sold for a jaw-dropping $140,000. Yes, $140,000 for a Kennedy half-dollar from 1972. Proof that sometimes the smallest pieces of history carry the greatest value, and that coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a journey through the heart of America. Top 4. When you think about coins that hold deep historical meaning and unexpected financial value, the Kennedy half-dollar is often at the top of that list. Originally introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination, this coin has gone on to become more than just a piece of currency. It's a legacy in metal, a slice of American memory carried in the palm of your hand. But among the many years the Kennedy half-dollar was minted, one stands out in a way few would expect. The 1981 Kennedy half-dollar, often overlooked by everyday collectors and underestimated by casual observers, has emerged as a surprise treasure for those who know exactly what to look for. And today, we're going to take a deep dive into why this particular year can turn an ordinary-looking coin into something worth tens of thousands of dollars. At first glance, the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar doesn't appear to be anything special. It was minted in significant quantities and circulated just like any other coin of its time. Most people who received it in change likely spent it without a second thought. Yet, hidden among the millions struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints are rare versions that have stunned collectors with their unusual features, pristine condition, and mysterious background stories. These aren't just coins. They're rare finds that combine sharp-eyed numismatic detail with historic resonance. One of the most intriguing things about the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar is its relationship to minting technology and collector demand. By this time, the mint had long stopped producing the 40% silver versions found in the earlier years, but it continued issuing proof sets and uncirculated mint sets for collectors. This means that a significant number of 1981 Kennedy half-dollars were never intended to be spent at all. They were produced specifically for the collecting community. But this is also where things get interesting. Some of these coins never made it into the collector's hands in the way they were supposed to. Errors occurred. Mismatched planchets, doubling in the inscriptions, missing mint marks, or even uncirculated coins accidentally entering general circulation. These are the anomalies that transform a modest 50-cent piece into a hot commodity. Now let's talk about condition. As any seasoned collector will tell you, a coin's value skyrockets when it's preserved in flawless or nearly flawless condition. Graded examples of the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar and mint state 67 and higher are rare because even minor imperfections can ruin the potential of an otherwise valuable coin. Combine that high grade with an error, like a no FG variety, where the designer Frank Gasparo's initials are missing, or a misstrike that features unusual metal composition or doubling, and now you have a specimen that commands attention in the most elite auction circles. But the beauty of the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar goes beyond just rarity and condition. The design itself is a masterpiece of mid-20th century coin artistry. The obverse bears the strong, youthful profile of President John F. Kennedy, etched in a way that captures both his charisma and the sense of national loss that followed his death. The reverse, with its presidential seal, an eagle grasping olive branches and arrows, surrounded by stars, remains one of the most patriotic and enduring images ever to appear on American currency. Holding this coin isn't just holding a piece of money, it's holding a symbol of national identity, remembrance, and pride. The thrill of coin collecting comes in those unexpected moments when an unassuming piece reveals itself to be something far greater. The 1981 Kennedy half-dollar is a perfect example. It's not a coin most people look twice at, yet in the right condition and with the right unique features, it becomes a priceless artifact. And when one exceptionally rare 1981 Kennedy half-dollar, graded in stunning condition and featuring a unique minting error, was placed at auction, the world of collectors watched with eager anticipation. When the final bid was cast, the coin sold for an astonishing $95,000. That's right, $95,000 for a half-dollar that, to the untrained eye, could have passed through your pocket unnoticed. So next time you come across a Kennedy half-dollar from 1981, take a closer look. You just might be holding a small fortune disguised as everyday change. Top 5. The Kennedy half-dollar has long been one of the most iconic coins in American history. Not only does it carry the image of one of the most beloved presidents the United States has ever known, but it also holds a deep emotional and historical weight. Introduced in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, this coin was meant to commemorate a leader whose life was tragically cut short. While early versions of the coin were minted in silver and quickly became prized collector items, later issues, like the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar, might seem at first glance like ordinary change. But under the right circumstances, that ordinary appearance can mask an extraordinary value. And today, we're going to unlock the mystery behind the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar and why one specific coin from that year has become worth a small fortune. To the average person, a 1988 Kennedy half-dollar is just another coin they might find in a jar of spare change or hidden in an old drawer. It was produced in both Philadelphia and Denver that year, and millions of examples were struck. This was a time when half-dollars were still being minted in large numbers, even though their use in daily transactions was already declining. Most people rarely used them, which meant many of these coins ended up sitting untouched for years. But it's in those forgotten drawers, dusty coin jars, and overlooked boxes of old currency that treasure can sometimes hide in plain sight. What separates a valuable coin from an ordinary one isn't just age or rarity, though those play a part. It comes down to several unique factors that collectors carefully examine: condition, minting errors, variations, and historical context. The 1988 Kennedy half-dollar has quietly become a subject of intense interest in numismatic circles because of a small number of coins that exhibit fascinating errors and exceptional preservation. We're talking about examples that show dramatic double dies, where the text or image appears to have a slight ghosting or doubling effect due to a misalignment during the minting process. Or those struck on the wrong planchet entirely, where the coin's size, color, or weight differs from the standard issue. These are not flaws, they're accidental masterpieces. And they're precisely what serious collectors are hunting for. Even more critical is the condition of the coin. Coins graded by professional services, especially those rated mint state 67 or higher, command much more attention and much higher prices than their worn counterparts. The grading process evaluates everything from the sharpness of the strike to the level of wear, luster, and even the tiniest marks under magnification. A coin from 1988 that survived in nearly perfect condition, with a stunning mint luster and razor-sharp details, becomes a true standout among millions. Add in an error, such as a missing mint mark, clipped planchet, off-center strike, or missing designer initials, and now you have a coin that steps out of the ordinary and into the world of exceptional value. What makes the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar even more compelling is the sense of discovery attached to it. Most people don't know that these coins can be valuable. They slip through hands unnoticed every day. But that's the thrill of numismatics, the idea that what seems ordinary could, in fact, be extraordinary. Imagine stumbling upon a coin that looks like any other but ends up being a rare variation worth thousands. It's this combination of mystery, history, and potential fortune that keeps collectors searching and coin enthusiasts dreaming. So, if you ever come across a 1988 Kennedy half-dollar, take a closer look. Inspect the details, examine the edges, weigh it if you can, and compare it to a standard issue. Because one verified example of a 1988 Kennedy half-dollar, featuring a rare minting error and preserved in nearly flawless condition, was recently sold in a high-profile private auction for an absolutely staggering $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000 for a coin that, to the untrained eye, might seem like just another 50-cent piece. This isn't just a story about money, it's about the hidden value in the everyday, the history we carry in our pockets, and the incredible potential of keeping your eyes open for that one rare find.